Shall we start where we left off? We were asking, don't we, why do human beings live this way?
What is the root?
The turmoil, the confusion, the sorrow behind it all, conflict, violence. And so many people offering different ways of solving the problems. The Asiatic gurus and the priests all over the world, and the new books, everybody offering a new solution, a new method, a new way of solving the problems. And I'm sure this has been going on for a million years. Do this and you'll be all right. Do that and you'll be all right. But nothing seems to have succeeded to make man live in order, happily, intelligently, without any of this chaotic activities going on. Right? Why can't human beings, so-called educated, knowing all the scientific knowledge, biology, sociology, everything as now is open to every human being. Why do human beings live this way, in this appalling misery? Some of them are conscious, some of them are unconscious. Some of them say, well, this is all right, it's only for a few years and then I'll die, it's a jolly good business, and it doesn't matter. So, why? What is the, why?
Well, I've often said that they do it because it gives them the very sorrow, the very turmoil, the very problems themselves is the security.
That doesn't...
No, I don't really think so. I think people just get used to it. I mean, they miss anything they're used to, but that's, in other people get used to fighting, and, and they miss it when they don't have it, but that isn't the primary reason, in my view. I mean, why they got started.
What's the primary reason?
That's what we wanted to
That's
get
what we'll
But I just
explore.
feel that whatever happens, you get used to it, and you come to miss it after a while just because you're used to it. But that doesn't explain why it's there.
I was reading the other day, some writer saying, historically, 5,000 years, historically, there have been 5,000 wars. Thousands of people killed, millions killed, women crying. You follow the whole, and still we are going on.
That's right. I had the same experience. One time I was working and a guy said to me that he wanted to go to Vietnam to fight because otherwise his life was every night at the bar.
I know, but that isn't the reason. Why?
No, that's not the reason, but there's something we hold on to the conflict and the sorrow.
Is it we like it?
No, it's not that we like it, it's we almost like not liking it. There's a kind of orientation, a kind of, I know my conflict, I know where I'm at.
No, have we all become neurotic?
Yes.
Huh?
The whole thing is neurotic.
Are you saying that?
Yes. The whole society is neurotic.
Which means entire humanity is neurotic?
I think so. I mean, this is the argument we have all the time. Is the society sick? And then if you say the society's sick, what's your judgment? What's the value you're using for comparison?
Which is yourself who are neurotic.
Right.
So, when you are faced with that human beings live this way and have accepted it for millennia. There have been saviors, there have been gurus, there have been teachers, there have been you follow? And yet they go on this way. And you say, and you say, well, we're all half crazy, demented, from top to bottom, corrupt, and I come along like us come along, say, why?
Why do we do it?
Why?
Why do we keep it up?
Yeah.
Why are we crazy? Right. I have it my children. I say to my children, this is a sick society. Look, they spend 50 hours a week in front of the television box. That's their whole life. My children, they laugh at me. All their friends are doing it.
You know, I'm moving beyond that.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Without it, what?
I know, no, not without it, what? Why?
That's what we run into.
No, well, no, that's merely a secondary effect.
Secondary, yeah.
You see, I think that we get to depend on it, as we were saying this morning, to occupy us and so on, and Vietnam might seem some release from the boredom of the pub or whatever, but
and also,
that's secondary.
And also, when I go to Vietnam or fight war, there are all responsibilities taken away from me. Somebody else is responsible, the general.
Right.
In the old days, people used to think that war would be a glorious thing. You see, that when the war started in England, everybody was in a state of high elation.
Exactly.
They didn't know what was in store, you see.
And they're all united.
Mm-hmm.
And,
So, why? Is it that we have started out on the wrong path?
That's
Or
only
is it,
part of
is
it.
it the species don't kill themselves, you know, the animal species, but we are the species that kill each other.
Right.
So looking at all this panorama of horror and misery, and I feel this very strongly because when I travel all over the place, I see this extraordinary phenomenon going on. In India, in America, here, everywhere. And I say, why do people live this way, accept these things, read history, and know, if only it is no longer concealed. They have become cynical. It's all there.
That's right. They have become cynical.
well, nobody believes anything can be done about it. I mean, that's one point.
Now, that's it. Is it no, we feel that we cannot do anything about it.
That's for sure.
That's been an old story. People say human nature is that
Can never
way.
be altered.
Yeah. I mean, that's not new at all.
It's not new.
No, but that's certainly true. That people feel, or we feel, I mean, let's not say people, we feel that, like I said this morning, that this is the way it is. This is the way we live.
I know, but why don't you change it?
Why don't we change it?
I mean, you see your son looking at the television for 50 hours a day.
Right.
You see your son going off to Vietnam, killed, maimed, blinded. For what?
Right.
Sorry. There have been pacifists, there have been warmen, hawks, doves.
Right.
Well, look, I mean, many people have said we don't accept that human nature is this way. We will try to change it, and it didn't work. You know, so many people did that, right?
I know.
The communists tried it, the socialists tried it, some others tried it. I mean,
The utopians.
the
all
utopians.
Right.
And, you know, and there's been so much bad experience that all adds up to the idea that human nature doesn't change.
Change.
You know, when Freud came along, Freud made his studies. He never set up psychoanalysis as to change people. He said, we can only study about people. It will never help.
I'm not interested. I know now, but I don't have to read Freud or Jung or you or anybody. It's there right in front of me.
Right. So now okay, so let's say we know this.
Yes.
We know this fact about people.
Yes.
And we also know the fact of the matter is that they don't try to change
So
it.
what is preventing them?
Well, in fact,
That's the question. They don't, that's another fact.
People have tried to change it in many cases, but they...
Okay, but now let's say that they don't try to
So
change
you
it.
know, they go ashramas, they go
Right.
dozen ways they've tried to change.
Right.
But essentially they are the same.
You see, I think people cannot find out how to change human nature. You see,
Is that it?
Well, that's, I mean, at least whatever methods have been tried are entirely...
Is that it, or is it the fact that the very nature of the way they want to change it is part of the process itself?
That's what he's saying.
No,
but I'm saying that both. And I say the first point is that whatever people have tried has not been guided by an understanding, a correct understanding of human nature.
So it's guided by this very process itself, right? The incorrectness.
Yes, let's take the Marxists who say that human nature can be improved, but only when the whole economic and political structure has altered.
Right.
But then...
they try to alter the human nature.
They can't alter it, you see, because our human nature is such they can't really alter it.
They've got classes, they started off no wars, you know.
But they're using a mechanical way to make a mechanical change.
No,
I mean, mechanical change to make a mechanical...
Look at it, sir. You take yourself.
Right.
Sorry to be personal if I don't mind.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You be the victim.
I'll be the pig in the middle. There.
Why don't you change?
Well, I...
And don't give explanations.
Well, the feel of it is that the immediate feel of it is that there is still that I guess I'd have to say there's some sort of false security or false the fragmentation, the immediate pleasures that are gotten from the fragmentation. In other words, there's still that movement of fragmentation. That's how come there's not the change. There's not seeing the whole thing.
I mean, do you want, when you say that, are you saying a political action, religious action, social action, all separate, all fighting each other almost, and we are that?
Right, right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that. I mean, that we keep getting something back from we get these immediate pleasures and failures, frustrations from these.
There's much deeper issue than
there's
that.
more. I mean, my immediate response is, why don't I change? What is it that keeps me from seeing the total? I don't know. I keep coming up with a kind of feeling that I'm getting something. I keep getting something from not changing.
No. Is it the entity that wishes to change sets the pattern of change,
right?
And therefore the pattern is always the same and a different color? I don't know if I'm making much clear.
Can you say it another way? Yeah.
I want to change, and I plan out what to change, how to bring about this change.
Right.
The planner is always the same.
That's right.
But the patterns change.
That's right. Yeah. I have an image of what I want.
No, patterns change.
Yeah.
But I, who want to change, create the patterns of change.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Therefore, I am the old, and the patterns are new, but the old is always conquering the new.
Right.
But of course, when I do that, I don't feel that I'm the old. See, I feel that I'm the new. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I've got a new idea of how...
Yeah, but I say I really don't feel that I am involved in that old stuff that I want to change.
Just now, after lunch, you were saying Kabbalah, that thing. There's a new system.
Yes.
New, say, if you study this, you will be transformed.
That's right. Yeah.
This has been said 100 million times. Do this and you will be transformed.
Yeah.
They try to do it, but the center is always the same.
Yeah, but each person who does it feels that it's never happened before.
My experience through that book is entirely different. But the experience is
same old thing, right?
I think that is one of the causes of it.
Well, it's a kind of sleight of hand trick whereby the thing which is causing the trouble is sort of put into position as if it were the thing that we're trying to make the change. You see, it's a deception.
I'm deceiving myself all the time by saying, I'm going to change that, become that. Mm-hmm. Then if it doesn't suit me, and so on. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Well, that begins to get at it. I mean,
look at yourself and say, is that it? You read Hindu, wait a minute, Hindu, some book.
Right.
And say, yes, how true that is. I'm going to live according to that. But the me that's going to live according to that is the same old me.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, we have this, we run into this in, let's say, I think that all systems, for instance, of therapy, with patients, for instance, the patient will say the doctor is going to be the one to help him.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And then when they see that doctor is like you or is not going to help you, then there's this, they're supposed to get better, or they're supposed to be well. But in fact, they've never touched that central issue, which is that I thought that somebody could help me. So then they go to something else, and
Of course.
Most of them go to another theory.
Another guru.
Another type of thing, whether it's a mind guru or...
This afternoon there was a man, there two here, talking about a new guru. You follow an old guru. But it's all same old stuff.
You're really getting at the issue, the fact that the root is this belief that something can help you.
No. The root remains the same, right? And we trim the branches.
See, I think the root is something we don't see because we put it in the position of the one who is supposed to be seeing.
Yes.
You see,
say that another way.
We don't see the root. It's a sort of a conjuring trick, you see. We don't see the root because the root is put into the position of somebody who would be looking for the root, you see. I don't know if you see it.
Yes,
That comes
the
out
root says, I'm looking for the root.
Right.
You see, it's like the man who says, I'm looking for my glasses, and he's got them on.
Well, like that Sufi story. You know the Sufi story. I'm looking for the key under. You know the word about that. I'm looking for the key over here because it's more. You know the story about the Sufi. The guy comes along and the guy's calling around under the light post. See, and he's looking for. The guy comes along and says, "What are you doing there?" He says, "I'm looking for my key." He said, "Well, did you lose it here?" He says, "No, I lost it over there, but there's more light over here."
Yeah, well, we throw the light on the. On the other part.
Yes, sir.
But
so if I want to change, because I don't want to live that way. Mm-hmm. I don't want to follow anybody because they're all like the rest of the gang. Mm-hmm. I don't accept any authority in all this.
Yeah.
Authority arises only when I'm confused.
Right.
When I'm in disorder.
That's right.
So I said, can I completely change at the very root?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now, you see, let's look at that because you're saying I. There seems confusion in the language because I say I.
Confusion of language, I know.
I mean, which makes it hard because you say I'm going to change. I am. It's not clear what I mean by I.
The I is the root.
The I is the root. So how can I change?
That's the whole point.
You see, the language is confusing because you say, I've got to change at the root, you see, but I am the root.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen?
What's going to happen, yeah.
No. How am I not to be I?
That's the question.
That's what you mean by that.
How am I not to be I? But let's roll it back a second. You state you're not going to accept any authority.
What? Who is my authority? Who? They have all told me, do this, do that, do the other. Read this book, you'll change. Follow this system, you'll change. Identify yourself with God, you will change. But I remain exactly as I was before. In sorrow, in misery, in confusion, looking for help. And I choose the help which suits me most.
Can we stop here for a minute? What would you say about that? Now, I mentioned something about psychiatry here, and I'd like to get something straight if we can. there is this whole theory, and gurus have it. They don't talk about it, but they have it. And then there is in all of psychiatry and psychology. That is the theory that if I go along with the authority to where I see my addiction to authority, then I'll free myself from the authority. You know that.
Yes, or rather, the communists say freedom comes at the end of good discipline.
Right.
And the discipline is what I tell you.
Right.
Yes, at the end
Now,
of the
why do you think that
dictatorship of the proletariat?
You mean that? Right. In other words, by giving myself over, I will discover my error. Now, what do you want to say about that? Huh?
I mean, isn't that obvious? I mean, that...
Right. It's obvious. I mean, that I'm doing the same thing, and then I see the failure of this authority, but you see, there is a thesis there that if I see the particular of my following authority, then I will see the universal in the root.
Yeah, but why do you have to follow the authority to see authority? See, this is one of the questions. You see, do you have to deceive yourself in order to understand self-deception?
Is it possible for a human being to change at the very root of his being?
Mm-hmm.
They have tried different ways, different Zen. You follow, 10 different, umpteen different ways they've tried to change man. Mm-hmm. Rewarding him, punishing him, promising him. Mm-hmm. Nothing had changed, brought about this miraculous change. Mm-hmm. And it is a miraculous change.
It would be, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. Everybody promises, do this, do that, do the other.
Right.
And a man like, we come along and say, look, I don't want to accept any authority.
Right.
Because you have misguided everybody, all the authorities.
Authority
in itself is disorder.
Right.
Authority exists because human beings are in disorder. The disorder has created them. Mm-hmm. Not clarity, not compassion, not something entirely different. It's the disorder has created them. So why should I follow them? Though they promise, do this, discipline yourself according this way, ultimately you'll be free. I reject all that. Mm-hmm. Not intelligently, because I see. It isn't a cantankerous rejection. It's a reasonable, sane rejection. Mm-hmm. So how do I proceed? I've got 50 years to live. I don't know about the future, maybe I'll find out. Mm-hmm. But I've got 50 years to live properly. What is the correct action?
What is the correct action to live properly?
That's all. That's all. To be sane. Not to be neurotic. Mm. Who is going to tell me? The communists? Marx? Lenin? Mao? The Pope? Or the local priest? Who is going to tell me? Because they don't act rightly either.
But we have a whole group of people who don't say that they'll tell you. We have a whole group of people who say, see how you follow me, and see if you follow me, see your tendency to follow me,
yes,
and then
I understand
the business of self-deception.
To see through that.
To see through your own self-deception.
But I mean, that's really an impossible trick, you see, because if you say, follow me and deceive yourself, then you must genuinely deceive yourself,
right.
And you can't see.
That's right, but the thesis is that if you deceive yourself, you will see your own tendency to self-deception, which you don't see.
But that must be authority, because, I mean, it doesn't make sense to say that if I deceive myself, I'm going to see through deceiving myself. I mean, the whole point of self-deception is that if I'm really doing it right, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Therefore, how do you guarantee to me that I can see through self-deception by deceiving myself?
Well, because I'm going to show you through I'm not going to participate. I'm going to be here, and you're going to deceive yourself, and then you're going to see this authority action, the way you need authority.
You're talking about group therapy.
I'm talking about a kind of psychotherapy, right?
Well, why do I need that? You see, why do I need to go through all that to see self-deception? I see, it's not clear.
No, it's not, but that's the only way. In other words, you're so desperately in need.
Yeah.
You need me desperately.
I don't need you.
No, but he does.
That is fundamentally wrong.
When we're accepting authority, right?
Yeah, you're fundamental. That's right. But he is fundamentally wrong. So here he is. He's fundamentally wrong.
Tell him that. Tell him that.
You're fundamentally wrong. That he doesn't hear me.
No. Don't ask him. Don't allow him to appeal to you.
You mean don't accept? Don't play along in this absurdity.
See, I can't help you.
I can't help you
because I'm like you.
I'll take my trade elsewhere.
You have to go somewhere else.
So if everybody says I can't help you, you have to do it yourself, look at yourself, then the whole thing is beginning to act.
Right. But the whole thing doesn't work like that. There are a lot of people who will be willing to deceive him for a few dollars.
We know they're all neurotic people.
Right. Right.
Here is a man who says, I'm neurotic. I won't go to any other neurotic.
Right.
To become sane.
Right.
I know. So what does he do? He doesn't accept any authority. Because I have created out of my disorder the authority.
Yes, well, that's merely the hope that somebody knows what to do.
Yes.
You see, it's. In other words, I feel that this chaos is too much for me, and I just assume that somebody else can tell me what to do. But that comes out of this confusion. In other words,
yes,
that's
the
just what
disorder creates the authority.
The authority.
Like in the school I've been saying, if you behave properly, there is no authority. The behavior we have all agreed to. Punctuality, cleanliness, this or that. If you really see it, you have no authority.
Yes, I see that. That I think is a key point, that the disorder itself creates the need for authority.
So look what's happened in India. Mussolini is a perfect example.
Right.
Well, trains run properly.
Well, it doesn't actually create a need for authority. It creates among people the impression that they need authority to correct the disorder. You see, that would be more exact. You see,
right.
Because the authority they don't need at all because it's just destructive.
Right. Right.
So let's start from there.
Yes.
I reject all this.
Right.
Being not insane. In the rejection of authority, I have become very sane. I'm beginning to become sane.
Right. Right.
So I said, now, I know I'm neurotic. A human being says, I know. Now, what shall I do? What is the correct action in my life? Can I ever find it, being neurotic?
Right.
I can't. So I won't ask what's the right action. I'll say, now, can I free my mind, the mind, from being neurotic? Is it possible? I won't go to Jerusalem, I won't go to Rome, I won't go to any Park Avenue doctors, nobody.
Right.
So because I'm very serious now. I'm deadly serious because that's my life.
Right.
But then you have to be so serious, and you say that in spite of the immense pressure to escape, you won't. But I'm saying that what one will feel at this juncture will probably be an intense pressure toward escape. You see, it's saying this is too much.
No, sir. You see, what happens when
that's not what happens.
Why?
What happens when I reject authority? I have much more energy.
Yes,
tremendous.
If you reject it.
Because I have now concentrated to find out.
That's right. That is what happens.
I'm not looking to anybody.
That's right. I know. In other words, then I have to use really be rawly open to what is. That's all I've got.
So what shall I do?
When I'm rawly open to
No,
what is.
I'm not open. Here is a human being caught in all this. What shall you do? No authority. No social discipline is immoral. Right?
Then it's the intense alertness.
No, tell me you are a doctor. Tell me what I am to do. I reject you.
Right.
Because you're not my doctor.
Right.
You are not my authority.
Right.
You don't tell me what to do.
That's right.
Because you are confused.
Right.
So you have no right to tell me what to do.
Right.
So I come to you as a friend.
Right.
Say, let's find out.
That's right.
Because you are serious and I'm serious.
That's right.
Let's see how
we can work together. And
no. Now, be careful. I'm not working together.
You're not going to work together.
No, we are together investigating.
Together investigating. Okay, but okay, we won't call it. We're investigating together.
No, working together means cooperation.
Right.
I'm not cooperating. I say you are like me.
That's
what
right.
am I to cooperate with?
Well, you don't want to cooperatively investigate.
No, because you are like me.
That's right.
Confused, miserable, unhappy, neurotic.
Right.
So I said, well, why should we? How can we cooperate? We can only cooperate in neuroticism.
That's right. You mean we'll collude essentially to deceive ourselves. So what are we going to do?
So can we investigate together?
That's a very interesting question. Can we? How are we going to investigate together if we're both neurotic?
No. So I said, look, I'm going to first see in what ways I'm neurotic.
I see. Okay. All right. Let's look at it.
Yes, look at it. In what way am I neurotic? A human being comes from New York or Tokyo or Delhi or Moscow, wherever. He says, I know I'm neurotic. Society is neurotic. The leaders are neurotic. And I am the world and the world is me. So I can't look to anybody. So what that gives you what it does?
Well, it really puts you up straight up there in front.
That gives you a tremendous sense of integrity.
Right. You got the ball in your hands now, run with it. Well,
now can I being a human being, can I look at my neurotic? Is it possible to see my neuroticism? What is neuroticism? What makes me neurotic? All these things that are put into me. Into me in the sense, the me that has collected all this, which makes the me. Can my consciousness empty all that?
Your consciousness is that, though.
Of course.
Is it only that?
For the moment, I'm limiting it to that.
That is my consciousness. The proliferation of my fragmentation or my thought is my neuroticism. What am I going to do this? What am I going to get here? Where am I going to get this? Or what am I going to do there? Or how am I going to... I mean, this me is made out of the proliferation of these fragments. Isn't that right?
No, of course. But also this means tremendous question, you follow?
Oh.
Can the consciousness of man, which began 5-10 million years ago, with all the things that have been put into it, generation after generation, generation after generation, from the beginning till now, you're asking, all that is neurotic, old boy, all that is a fragmented collection. Can you take one at a time at those and look at it, or can you take the whole of it and look? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, can you take the whole of it and look? That's not clear. How can you take the whole of it and look?
Yeah, I mean, there seems at least a language problem there, because you say, if you are that, how are you to look at it?
I'll show you in a minute. I was going to.
No, but I meant that it is a difficulty of stating it.
Stating it, I know. It's a verbal, the words are wrong, you see.
Right, the words are wrong.
Because the words are made by this very system there.
Yes. So we shouldn't take these words too literally.
Too literally, of course.
Could we say that the words can be used flexibly?
Right. Now that's a good...
No, the word is not the thing.
That's right. The word is not the thing, but the word points at something much bigger than itself.
No, word is not the thing.
Right.
It may be the big thing or the little thing, but the word is not that.
Not that.
Yeah, but you see, we are using words, and the question is, how are we to understand them? You see that they are in some way a clue,
impediment and
in some way a clue to what we're talking about. But it seems to me, you see, that one trouble with the words, the way we take them to mean something very fixed, like saying,
this chair.
This is exactly a chair. My consciousness is just so. You see, I am the neurosis. And therefore, we take it very fixed. Now,
it's moving.
It's moving and changing. Yes, and therefore, you can't just exactly say, "I am the neurosis" or "I'm not the neurosis." Is that?
It's constantly in flux.
But he's saying something bigger, which is the fact that the very thing that we're investigating is the way word is. I mean, the way we use words as the thing is the very movement that we're investigating.
Yes.
That is the consciousness.
Wait, that's it.
You see?
Would you repeat that once more?
Yes. That the very act of the word being seen as the thing by consciousness, that very movement is the thing we must investigate.
Yes.
That is...
Now, can you look at it without the word? Is that possible? The word is not the thing. The word is a thought. And I, as a human being, I realize I'm neurotic. Neurotic in the sense I believe. I live in conclusions, in memories, which are all neurotic processes.
In words.
In words. The words, pictures, and reality. I believe.
That's how you live.
I mean, my belief is very real. It may be illusory. All beliefs are illusory. But because I believe so strongly, they are real to me.
Right. They are very real to you.
Very. So, can I look at that, the nature of the belief, how it arose, look at it.
Look at how I'm living in the world in which I'm trapped by the belief in the word is the thing. Look at that movement.
Don't expand that, I understand. Just look at that. You've got a belief, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Now, look at it. Can you look at it?
Well, I saw. I mean, this morning we were talking about the fact that the belief is doctor, word, thing.
Don't expand it. Can you look at
at
that fact that you have a belief? Whatever it is, God and the state is the most important, or whatever.
Right.
Marx is the newest God, or Mao, and so on, so on, so on.
But I believe it's true.
No. Can you look at that belief?
As a belief and not as a fact.
I know. It's a fact. It is a reality to you when you believe in it. Go to a Catholic, a Hindu, or a Marxist.
Well, how am I going to look at it if I really believe in it? In other words, look, I say there is a God. Right? Now you're telling me to look at my belief in the God.
Why do you believe? Who asked you to believe? What is the necessity of God? Not that I'm asking
I
you.
know it's there. God is there for me if I believe.
Then there is no investigation.
Right.
You have stopped. You have blocked yourself.
I've
You
blocked.
have shut the door.
That's right. So how are we going to get...
can't.
We've got such beliefs.
Ask him.
Right.
You have
How are we
tried
gonna get it to believe?
to show somebody who is a very strong belief.
Right.
He says, "What are you talking about? This is reality."
That's
much
right.
as that.
Yes, well, that's the thing, that how our word becomes reality. Do you see? Can we
That's
investigate
it. And how
that?
can we get at this? Because I think we have loads of these unconscious beliefs that we don't really shake, like the belief in the me.
Yes.
I mean, I think
No,
that...
he's asking some other question.
Well, how thought or word becomes the sense of reality? Do you see that's,
Why words have become realities?
You see, I think a deeper question is how the mind sets up the sense of reality. Do you see? I mean, if I look at things, I may think they're real, sometimes mistakenly, and that's an illusion. But when it comes to and even with objects, you can say a word and it seems real when you describe it that way. And therefore, in some way, the word sets up in the brain a construction of reality.
Yes.
And then everything is referred to that construction of reality.
How am I to investigate that?
What created that reality? Would you say everything that thought has created is reality, except nature?
But that thought didn't create nature.
Of course not.
No, but I mean, can't we put it that thought can describe nature?
Yes, thought can describe nature, poetry, all the rest of it.
And also measure it?
Imagination, all the rest of it. Can we say thought, whatever it has put together, is reality? The chair, the table, all these electric lights. Nature it hasn't created, but it can describe it.
And also make theories about it.
Make theories and all the rest of it. And also, it is the illusion it has created is a reality.
Right.
But isn't it, say, to a certain extent, this construction of reality has its place? Because, see, if I feel that the table is real, although the brain has constructed that, it's okay. Now, but at some stage, we construct realities that are not there. You see, and we can see this sometimes in the shadows in the dark night, constructing realities that are not there.
Man.
Yes, you see, and also all sorts of tricks and illusions are possible by conjurers and so on. And now, but then it goes further and say mentally we construct a psychological reality.
That's where it comes.
Which seems intensely real, very strong. But it seems to me the question is, what is it that thought does to give that sense of reality, to construct reality? Can we watch?
What does thought do, bring about to create that reality?
Yes. I mean, like if you talk to someone who believes in God, they say to you that's real, that it's really there. It's not a construction. And if you talk to somebody who really believes in their self, I mean, I've talked to many people, and you have been talking to the psychotherapist, they say the self is real, that it exists, it's a thing. I mean, you heard a man once, he did a psychotherapy conference, he says to Krishnaji, we know the ego exists, he says. We've got a theory, it exists.
Well, it's not only that, but see, that I think people have felt its reality, and they refer. What happens is that the illusion builds up very fast. Once you construct the reality, all sorts of events are referred to it as if they were coming from that reality.
Right.
You see, and it builds up a tremendous structure, a cloud around it of support.
Right. So how am I to investigate my reality-making mechanism?
We have 5 minutes more.
Oh.
So let's come to it. What are we doing now?
We're moving. It's moving.
Now, what are we doing? We have said no authority, nobody can say to another, this is the right thing to do. Because we are trying to find out what is the correct action in life. I can only find that out if there is no disorder in me. Right?
Right.
Me is the disorder.
Right. That's right.
However real that me is, that is the source of disorder.
Right.
Because that separates, that divides me and you and we and they and my nation, my God, me.
Right. Right.
Now we're asking how, with its consciousness,
Right.
can that consciousness be aware of itself?
Mm-hmm.
Aware, like thought, thinking.
Thinking about itself?
About thought, can, put it very simply, can thought be aware of its own movement?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the question.
That's the question. I mean, it's been called, it could be, say, a self-reference of thought to thought understanding its own structure, its own movement.
Its own movement.
And
but is that thought that's aware of itself, or is it something else?
Try it.
Try that.
Do it now. 4 minutes you have.
Right.
Do it now. See whether you can be aware of your, not you, whether thought can be aware of itself, of its movement.
Mm-hmm. See, it stops.
What does it mean?
It means what it says. It stops. That it can't be. That the sense of, well, the observation of thought stops.
No, I don't put it that way.
How would you put it?
It is undergoing a radical change.
Mm. Yeah, so the word thought is not a fixed thing.
No.
The word thought.
It does not mean a fixed thing.
Yes.
But it can change, right?
Right.
In perception.
I mean, you have told me, other scientists have told me, in the very observation through a microscope, the object, undergoes a change.
In the quantum theory, the object is cannot be fixed apart from the act of observation.
Well, this is true with patients. When in psychoanalysis, when being with the patient, they change automatically.
Forget the patient. You are the patient.
I'm the patient. Right. It changes.
No. What takes place when thought is aware of its own, of itself? So this is an extraordinarily important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That is, can the doer be aware of his doing?
Mm-hmm.
Can I move this vase from here to there? Can I be aware of that? Moving.
Yes.
I can physically, that's fairly simple.
Right.
I stretch out the arm and so on.
Yes.
But is there an awareness of thought which says, yes, I see thought is aware of itself, its movement, its activity, its structure, its nature, what it has created, what it has done in the world, the misery, all the rest of it.
Is there an awareness of the doing of the brain? Let me ask you something. Why do you think you can be aware of...
Time.
I want to save that question for tomorrow. The question is when you're aware, when you're aware of your movement of the vase, it doesn't stop.
No.
But when you're aware of the movement of the brain, it does stop.
Mm.
Isn't that an interesting
Well,
question?
I mean, the irrelevant thought stops then.
That's the end.
The end.